afternoon. It is the last day of March and I realised that it's been quite a long time since I've done a little garden tour video just to see how things are beginning to change. The apple tree is right behind me, and as you can see there is no blossom on it at the moment. It's had a bit of a haircut this year, but we should still get some blossom soon. I will do my normal and start from the top of the garden and work down, and you can see how things have changed since last time. So first thing is at the top of the garden that the narcissi are looking lovely. I've got lots of little ones that are just coming out of the grass and trying to expand that area, have more bulbs in here, and then under the apple tree in a few months time hopefully there'll be lots of wildflowers and so on in there. Looks a little bit untidy at the minute because it's just cardboard and carpet and mulch there at the minute. I have popped a few things in but not an awful lot to show. My apple mint is starting to show, so I don't think there was much to see there last month. The Sweet William is starting to bulk up, so I've got 3 little lines of Sweet William. This one's looking a little bit thin on the ground, but actually got 4 lines of Sweet William. So I've got some hare's tail grass waiting to go in this little patch here, so that'll be going in there. And my wheelbarrow of anemones and bulbs coming up, that's looking pretty at the minute. Muscari, just happens that Muscari and my primroses come up at the same time and they just look so, I love that combination, blue and yellow. And then the rest of this is mainly foxgloves, so it's a bit of a dry bed, always a bit tricky this one. And I just noticed the Lysergium is just starting to flower, so I'll be able to cut those for this weekend's bouquets. Right, greenhouse time. So I've been doing a little bit of shifting around. Some things are hardening off here, ready to plant out. So we've got some cornflower, some corn cockle. I've already planted out the calendula, just a few left there. And then in the greenhouse we have got some nigella, some other seedlings which I've potted up quite a few, but there's still more that my seed to vase group will be doing some transplanting. Some clary, some dahlias that have started sprouting. They've been indoors actually, I've only just moved them out here. Some scabious here, daucus, and some more scabious, I think. Scabious, can't remember. No, it's not. Amber boa, never grown it before. Amber boa. So I popped some ragged robin in here. So this is the first year that I planted it, so I'm not expecting much this year, so I'm hoping that it'll bulk up for next year. So I've got white and pink in here, but other than that it's just mainly shrubs in this border. Larkspur has been in for a few weeks now. Ranunculus, they're starting to bud up, some of them. There we go. I've given them a bit of seaweed food, actually, liquid seaweed, just to give them a bit of a go. The anemones are looking really pretty good, seeing as they're outside ones. So let me just let you go under that. Okay, yeah, anemones are looking good. And over here we've got calendula, which got planted out yesterday with my seed to vase group. Very handy, they did some work for me, which was really useful. And we've also did a little bit of direct sowing of some Gypsophila. I do find gyp, for me, is much better direct sown than when I try and start it off in modules. And then the rest of these beds have got 1 or 2 bits in them from the winter, but on the whole they're just ready for putting other things in. So the cornflower, which was probably looking really sad last month, I filled in a few gaps with some overwintered ones that were in the greenhouse, and you can kind of tell the difference. The ones that have been in the ground for longer, they looked terrible last month, but look, they've kind of really starting to bulk up now. So fairly happy with those. Let's go around this way. The Honesty is also starting, I just noticed, starting to show a little bit of colour. Probably ought to be doing a bit of pinching out actually. So that's another job for today. The Annie, yeah, just starting to find its feet and get going. That's been in a while now. And then I've got a little bed of half Nigella with a bit of Cynoglossum at the bottom, some Chinese forget-me-nots. So these were all sown in the autumn and planted out a few weeks ago. They were kept in the greenhouse all winter. Okay, oh, I guess I need to go around the other side. Phacelia is looking pretty good. I need to sort this net out. It's got a bit saggy in the middle and is being pulled down. So that needs to, always lots of things to do. So they're looking nice and straight, but just need a bit more support. Corn cockle, a bit like the cornflower. You can tell the ones that have been in the ground all winter, that survived the winter, and then these are just little plantings which hopefully will bulk up soon, but a lot more spindly than the other ones, and I've got some more to add to them. More ranunculus, so see how they turn out. Seem to have a little bit of a gap there, which I've just noticed, not sure why. And some more ranunculus. So I was really chuffed with them last year, which was my first year using them, so we'll just have to see how they fatten up this year. So another thing I've done is got some sweet peas in. So I've got about 7 or 8 on that side, similarly on the other side. And then I've got another batch ready to get to put in. So hopefully this arch is gonna, seems pretty strong still, so that will be covered in sweet peas in June time onwards. Right, what have we got down here? So I know the alliums, you'll notice quite a difference in. So the alliums, well, they're certainly greening up nicely. Hopefully they'll have some flowers on them coming through soon. I can see them budding up down here, for example. There's a bud coming through. Yeah, so that's looking, seeing as they had a really dry summer, they are looking pretty good. And then on this, so my muscari are busily doubling up a little bit here, but look what popped up. Don't know how it got there, but I'm not complaining. It's lovely fritillary. Has managed to squeeze itself in beside the muscari, so watch this space next year, see if anything happens, see if they bulk up at all. To the veggie plots, so the pink campion or red campion is coming on. I love that as a spring flower. The tulips are a little bit patchy, is the Angelique. Few green spirit and the Menton are looking really good at the end. So still a little bit to go on those. The raspberries just showing signs of life, needs a bit of weeding in there. What have we got over here? The Hesperus, looking really fab actually. So 2 lots of Hesperus. One was in a few weeks earlier than the other, but that's quite handy, so I'll have a bit of a succession on that. And the perennials as well are just starting to leaf up. I've got some new delphiniums that I grew from seed there in the front there, and they seem to have survived the slug so far. Astrantia is greening up, the Achillea the Pearl is greening up. Yeah, a few of my perennials I'm hoping are going to look a little bit better this year. They're always a little bit slow the first year, and that is if you're lucky enough to get them flowering the first year from seed as well. The Achillea is looking pretty good. Various things in here. Verbena bonariensis is yet to do anything. Bit of sea lavender in the middle, which didn't do anything last year, but I'm hoping will flower this year. yeah, Polemonium, some new Catanunch, and the Veronica is coming on as well. Loose Strife is coming on, Eryngium, and Greenhouse. Definitely filling up with seeds pretty fast. So just having to constantly keep an eye, make sure I don't overwater, make sure I don't underwater. Snaps are finally putting on a little bit of a growth spurt, thankfully. Seem to take forever. I've got all sorts in here, all sorts. Those Snapdragon, not looking so good, but they are growing. And I've just been doing a bit more seed sowing in the potting shed. So this lot is going to go up. Some put in this greenhouse I've just been into, some it's going to be left outside hardening off, and yeah, more seed sowing been going on, transplanting, etc. Compost. So we've been using quite a lot of this bay, which is ready, so that's been spread onto any bare patches, and I've got a load of cardboard to munch up in here to put the carbon content up. Okay, so now in the orchard, so really must show you the primroses while they're still looking amazing. Yeah, they are a bit past their best, but they're still looking absolutely fab. Look at that. That's a fantastic carpet of primroses. So this is my neighbour's orchard. It is looking amazing. And then behind me, not a lot to show you, to be honest. Everything's under wraps. So the first two long beds I usually have hardy annuals in, and the ones on the end have my dahlias underneath there. So I better just start keeping an eye on those because they're going to start sprouting soon, but we are due some frost, so I hope they're not going to start sprouting yet. And yeah, we'll see what happens. So there's one under there, for example. And then last thing to show you is a nice little patch of foxgloves here, which they are looking pretty good. And the little patch in the middle was sort of leftover ones. I think I might move those because I'm not really going to need too many foxgloves when they're likely to flower. So I will move them somewhere else and use the bed for something else. So that's the end of the end of March, early April tour. So just thought I'd finish off with the primroses again because they're so just fantastic right now. So yeah, I think it's just a good marker, end of March. We've had a couple of weeks of fairly dry weather. Last couple of days have been absolutely beautiful, and it's really brought everything on. So yeah, do check in next month, and yeah, keep an eye on my YouTube channel.